the director-cameraman collaboration has come out beautifully in this film. Like I can't remember many Hindi films in which such collaborations come to the fore. Like maybe I can remember offhand Rajan Kothari with Shyamji and V.K. Murthy, Guru Dutt. Of course, they did many films together. But in this also, I think उनकी जो chemistry, as you say, उनकी जो जुगलबंदी है, the collaboration has worked well.
Oh, yes. I mean, if you ask me, I was just going to point this out that for a cinematographer or for any other technician or artist in any film, it is very important, to connect to the script, to the core, and be in sync with the director, first of all, and after that, all other departments as well. Because film is a collective art medium, as we all know. So, in this collective art medium, if a cinematographer is trying to do some independent work without thinking about director's vision or without thinking about the requirement of the scene or the script, then probably he'll be ending up doing a picture postcard which is looking fantastic and visually very, very appealing and good and everything. But it may not go, it won't be able to tell or bring out the essence of the script. So, so if you want to, work in such a way so that it brings out the essence of any film, then you have to have a great relationship between the director and the DOP. We all know, Vidhu Vinod Chopra and Vinod Pradhan, both coming from FTI Pune. They had a great bonding and great relationship, and they have done many films together. Both of them, they complement each other's work, and I think both of them are very passionate about their craft. They understand each other very well, I believe, because if the director do not understand the limitation of a cinematographer, if a cinematographer do not understand the visualization of a director, then it will go in two different directions. If you see Parinda, you will not see a single scene where you will find that the cinematography is not complementing the script or not bringing out the essence of the script or not being able to convey what a director or what a filmmaker want to say. And Parinda is a great example of that. So that is the biggest and the strongest point of the success of this film. And the second point, obviously, is the great lighting of the movie. Composition in camera movement, mise en scène, as you were talking about, it's all very well done. But the lighting is fantastic. It is just perfect. It is a piece of art. I believe. All the sources been used as a like a stroke, brush stroke on a canvas. So when you see the compositions and the placement and the source and light coming and falling at exactly where it is required to fall and just bring out the mood, correct mood. So I think each scene you would see it.
Even in quote unquote ordinary locations, simple locations like Anil Kapoor,
Yeah.
Jackie Shroff's house, for example.
Yes.
When
Yeah.
you, if, I don't, when you open the door, when Anil Kapoor comes
Hmm.
in the passage,
Hmm.
the kind of tube lights which they have used,
Hmm.
again a very bluish kind of a light in the passage.
Yes.
If you
Yes.
remember, so
Yes.
small
And
things.
he's kept a tube light in the frame also. In one scene, you can see one tube light in the frame, and that has been deliberately kept in the frame. The light has something to say in the film. What I mean to say, I mean, it is not just placed there. If you see the lighting of House of Jackie Shroff and Anil Kapoor, it is completely different from what we see for Nana Patekar's then and his lighting. In Nana Patekar's location, you will see high contrast low key lighting. So basically, I will explain what is low key look. So basically, when you have more shades of gray in towards the black, and you see less of bright and highlight in your frame. If you see less of highlights in your frame and just see the underexposed area and towards the black, then it is an example of low-key lighting, basically. It's basically high contrast. So if it happens on the highlight side, then it is called high key. You tend to see more of bright side of the image, and in low key, you tend to see more of the darker side of the image. So basically, in general word, if I will put it across, that the low key is basically underlit and high in contrast, and high key is heavily lit, overexposed, and less in contrast. So one can understand high key and low key in this way.
Yes.
So you will get example of both in this film. If you see, there is a scene when Jackie Shroff is climbing on stairs. So in that scene, too much sky you see, too much brightness you see, and too much less contrast you see. You see everything around that. So that is an example of a high key lighting. But if you go back to the location of Nana Patekar, where you see too much darkness and only one or two light just showing the characters or the elements which is required to be seen. So that all is an example of a low key lighting there.
When we talk about that scene, which where you gave an example of the high key lighting, what strikes me is the framing and composition of that shot, that bridge, that curve, that those lines. Since you were also mentioning framing and composition, so that
Oh yes, composition, it's very very well done. So any frame, if you see, I'm just remembering there is this one chase sequence. So generally, what we see in chase sequences, people don't really too much take care of composition, because the subject is constantly moving and you are following non-stop, and sometimes you manage to get it perfectly in the frame. Like you have some thumb rule of composition, like rule of third and all that. So, especially in high voltage scenes where the fight is happening, or chase is happening, or dance is happening, it becomes really difficult to maintain some classical framing. A cinematographer always struggles, to constantly compose, to keep maintaining your composition. But here in this film, I was surprised and happily surprised to see that even in chase sequences, you would see great composition. When there is this police jeep which is following Nana Patekar's car, and they reach to a dead end and stop near the sea. If you see all the frames in that scene, it is not a casual, not a single frame which is casual, not a single shot which is taken casually. It is well composed and well followed. It looks like they must have rehearsed it so many times, which is so difficult. I don't think on real location you get so much time, to rehearse those shots, in chase sequence and all that. But it is fantastically done in that same scene, or probably some other chase scene. The camera, where the camera is kept low angle, and a car is parked next to the camera, and you see one another car which is coming in the frame. You see that car in the reflection of the body of the car which is parked near the camera. So this is an additional contribution from a cinematographer. That shot could have been taken simply with following that car. But instead of directly following that car, he decided, he must have thought that rather composing that car directly, I would catch it here in the reflection on the body of another car. So that is again a challenging thing to do, because it is not very easy to determine your exposure when you are trying to expose things or subjects in reflection. And there are so many unwanted factors also are involved when you are working in the reflection. So it is like a nightmare for a cinematographer, to work with reflections. Sometimes it adds on, and sometimes, most of the time it creates problem. But the shot which I am talking about, and there are a couple of other shots also where the reflections are being used so beautifully. It shows, the involvement and the creative, input of a cinematographer, which has been given and contributed to the film very creatively and very aesthetically. So that is wonderful. There is another scene which I remember of Jackie Shroff and Anil Kapoor talking to each other inside the house, and it is like a very very emotional scene. and at the same time, there is a mirror in the background, and you see Jackie Shroff in the mirror also, and the camera. I was like just trying to understand where is the camera, because you don't feel the camera, because just bang opposite the camera there is a mirror. So if one can see the mirror and one can see artist, then one can see the camera also.
Yeah.
But the camera is not seen. So probably the placement of the mirror, the placement of your characters, and the placement of your camera has been aligned in such a beautiful and creative way that it is showing the character and his reflection in the mirror, and at the same time, the camera is not seen. I mean, you can't show the camera on screen. It was a very critical angle to achieve that kind of a composition. What I mean to say, so that looks very simple, but it is very difficult to achieve. And the camera moves in also. There is a very slight movement also. When Anil Kapoor is talking, then the camera is facing him. When Jackie Shroff is talking, then the camera goes on his face also. So within that scene, he's constantly changed his composition, giving the importance and the required weightage to the characters, maintaining the composition and seeing that, adding that another layer in the background as mirror. So it was basically both of the brothers, they were reflecting and exchanging their thoughts, and the elder brother was trying to make younger brother understand about certain things, and he is trying to convince him. So and he has a double side, basically. Jackie Shroff, he is a good man for his brother, and he's a bad man also, because he works with the gangsters. So he has a two sides of face, basically. And in the mirror, the use of mirror, I feel that probably the cinematographer must have thought that how I can show the double face of one character, in this film. So I don't know what was there in his mind, but at least I could think of this, that probably this could be one of the reason why a cinematographer is tried in that kind of a composition, where one character shows two different faces in one single frame. So that was very interesting. So you were talking about composition. So of course, I mean, coming from a legendary cinematographer Vinod Pradhan, I'm not surprised. Rather, it gives a great learning that how much precision must have been practiced to take that shot. How much time, how many rehearsals, how many takes would have been done, to get that shot perfect. Sometimes if you get a chance, please invite Vinod sir and discuss all. He is the right person who would.
That's on my mind. Let's invite him next time.
Because I am nobody. I was not there in that film. I was a school kid that time. Now I'm. Yeah, but if you talk to Vinod sir, he will be able to tell you in detail, and all the things what we are here kind of wondering and figuring out. So please do that. I would like to join that session also. Yeah.
There are some films and there are some collaborations where the person gets a chance to, do great work. These fertile films, fertile times, fertile chances. Even a film like Jaane Bhi To Yaaro, which was very low budget. Vinod Pradhan sir and Kundan Shah sir, they collaborated very well. And Vidhu Vinod Chopra was the production manager in that, I think. So these kind of films, those times when low budget, and they did great work in.
I think Parinda was not a very low budget film. I mean, it had a very
medium budget,
good star cast and moderate budget, I believe. It is kind of a great learning for all of us, that you don't need too much budget for a success of a film. You need sensibility. People who are behind the camera, who are making the film, has to be exposed to the cinema. They have to know the grammar of filmmaking. They have to understand the medium. They should be knowing how to tell the story. That's what we all are learning, day in and day out. That's why probably we watch so many films, to learn and gather how a filmmaker is taking us to a journey for like 2 hours or 3 hours. It's just a kind of a make-believe world, and how creatively we all can contribute as a collaboration, to create that magic, to create that journey, very, very fascinating and beautiful, and it's like a very, very important and cult movie. So a lot of things can be done on table nowadays, and a cinematographer is just probably recording or shooting some layers of image which will be later on digitally treated or maybe sandwiched or created some kind of a different color correction or cropping and whatnot possibility. I mean, with the digital medium. Like I would give one small example. Like suppose if you have to shoot a scene where you are seeing some unwanted exterior through a window. So probably in that time we had to take a call that we will not shoot on one particular time. We'll rather shoot it on some different time. But now, if your cinematographer is aware about your digital possibilities, probably he can just mask the window or key out the window and shoot at any time. Just maintain the interior light and mask the window and shoot your scene. And later on in editing, that window would be that mask would be replaced with the perfect background which was required, as an exterior to that window. So that possibility is there now, but in that time it wasn't there. The sensibility of technicians and a filmmaker to narrate the story or to bring out the emotion will never change. What will change is the tool and the medium and the resolution and technical parameters will definitely keep changing. It will become easier and easier and user friendly. The whole process of the R&D is to make it easy. Like now the darkroom, that mystery of darkroom is gone out from photography and cinematography, as we all know. So that mysterious nature of waiting to see the final result, when DP or a director used to hold their breath, that जब तक लैब से आंसर प्रिंट नहीं आ जाते, जब तक लैब रिपोर्ट नहीं आ जाता, तब तक you never used to be sure what is there on the negative. So these things are there, but you are right. There are few things which will never change. Like there is no language of smile, there is no language of crying, so it will never change. What will change is the way we record the smile and the way we record a person crying, or any emotion for that matter.
And how to portray correctly. That
Yeah,
they portrayed everything correctly, Vinod Pradhan and Vinod Chopra in Parinda.
yeah, because they had a perfect script, I believe. And once you have the perfect script and you have a perfect visualization in your head that how you want to make this film, what kind of film, how you are seeing this film in your mind, how it is conveyed to your technicians and your other department head.
Now, what I was saying was, and how to convey that emotion most effectively. That the filmmakers have done very well, because it's the
Oh,
same
yes, yeah,
story,
yes.
same, maybe not same India के लिए नया था, but
Hmm.
how to convey that it creates the maximum emotional impact.
Yeah,
Was,
the treatment, what you mean to
that
say, yeah.
technique was there in Parinda.
So that's where the craftsmanship
Yeah.
comes in, no? That's where, and that's how the film is being appreciated, and that's why we and you and me are sitting here and talking about that film,
Yes.
because we can sense that they have used their sensibilities in the best way.
Another remarkable couple of things, if we can cover quickly, is that the use of natural light and location.
If
That
you
scene where
well,
they are in bandstand and the sun is setting, and it's a very beautiful. Madhuri Dixit is looking so
yes,
pretty in that scene.
yes,
The
very
nat-
warm and very warmly color corrected also, that scene. The waves are in the background, the sea is in the background, and it is very I mean, it has a warm tone. What struck me very surprising to see that generally we see seashores and like exteriors are little cooler, and I mean towards the blue side, a little cold in look. But on the in contrary, beautifully composed. Yes, you are right. It is beautifully composed, but there's a it is graded towards the warm tone. So all the tides which is coming in the background, if you see, it has nice yellowish oranges
Yeah, very
thing.
orange light on Madhuri's face, like sunset.
Yeah, so probably it is a yeah, so it is a late evening scene, and a sun is setting in the backdrop. So and there is a kind of a warmth between these two characters also,
Mm.
which probably may be a cue point for the cinematographer to think that probably I'll enhance this mood by adding up a little orangish tone or little warmth to the scene. Basically, it must have been done in color grading,
Mm.
but brilliantly done and aesthetically done,
Mm.
and which is more suitable for the scene.
And also the use of locations adds up a lot.
Oh yes, so it is very challenging work, and kudos to the cinematographer and the whole team of the film Parinda, that they decided to shoot on real locations. Real locations are always very challenging for a cinematographer, because there you don't have the luxury of overhead tarapa, or ceilingless rooms where you could hang your grid and your lights and everything, and just do your lighting. But real locations are always challenging. But here, if you see in this film, most of the time they have shot real locations, be it a bandstand, there's this
Babulnath Temple.
Babulnath Temple, yeah, and so many Dadar Kabutar Khana, even that factory, I believe, is a real location.
These locations have a character, which adds up to the
Obviously,
cinematography. And
yeah. So if the location has the character, it takes me to the Reiki. When a director and DOP go to find which is the perfect location. Because you cannot just go on the day of shoot and find that you have got a brilliant location, right? For a feature film, at least, you have to create your location, or if you are lucky enough, you will find a suitable location which is required for your scene or for your film. So probably that is the I don't know whether the script has been written keeping those location in mind, or they were fortunate enough, or they were like smart enough to find the perfect location for the movie. It is so perfect that even the name of the movie, Parinda, it is so beautifully used in so many scenes. The Kabutar Khana, Dadar Kabutar Khana, is one of very important location of the movie.
yes, Rupeshda, each and everything in that film, I spoke to the writer, is
Yeah,
meticulously planned. It's not nothing. Even the Parinda, it appears visually in the film. It
yeah,
it also has a metaphor that जब हम गांव जाएंगे, if you remember, तो
yes,
हम
yes, yes,
गांव जाएंगे, वहां पे ऐसा
yeah,
होगा वैसा होगा, तो that
correct.
परिंदा, that flight, कि हमको एक दिन आएगा जब सब सुख शांति होगा, और that feeling,
हाँ, हाँ
बहुत
जी,
लेवल्स पे ये परिंदा का भी
yeah.
मोटिव यूज किया है.
Yes, that is a metaphor, and that is brilliantly used. That you don't have to do much if your location is perfect. It motivates you. Sometimes I mean, most of the times, if you are in a perfect location, you know your angle, you know your composition, and you know what is the source and from where the light will come, and how it will come, from what angle and how much intensity and how much area. So all these things are little technical thing, and small detailing how a cinematographer works in. But eventually, the whole purpose of it is to bring the essence, and it should not look like an alien shot, or like something which is done, just for the sake of it in any location. All the locations look so justified and perfect, ideal.
Tell us about that scene where Anil Kapoor, you know, murders Rama in the factory.
Yeah. Have you noticed the shaft coming through a huge exhaust fan, which is used so creatively in that particular scene? I hope you are talking about the same scene, right? Which is inside. It is constantly moving slowly. So it is creating a huge drama. And in that scene, Anil Kapoor kills Rama, I believe. It's a very intense scene, and there is no one else. Only these two person, Anil Kapoor and Rama, both are fighting, and he kills finally Rama. So apart from these two characters, the third noticeable character is the light shaft. You cannot just ignore that light shaft. it is another character in that scene. So it is like a signature. It is like a brush stroke by the cinematographer, to add from his side. It's the cinematographer's contribution to the scene. That if two person is fighting and it's like a killing scene, so how one can enhance that mysterious or the seriousness of the scene, so that light shaft and the little bit of misty and foggy feel, which is enhancing the direction and uh, the beam of the shaft in the best possible, best in a beautiful way. So, and the dancing, the movement in the light is also another added character. So it gives you that kind of a it evokes the emotion of the audience. It creates that suspense, and then you see one small flutter of one pigeon also in that scene, and that too also in that shaft. So it's wonderful, and it shows the trap situation, because I think Rama was trapped there by Anil Kapoor, and it required some kind of a theatrical and dramatic expression. And I believe with the help of that shaft of light and composition, Vinod sir has created the magic, I would rather say.
So how would you like to conclude from the cinematographer's perspective?
Oh, well, I have learnt a lot, and thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to watch this movie once again with a new perspective. And basically, I have developed immense respect for filmmakers like Vinod Chopra and cinematographer Vinod Pradhan. We all know, the whole world knows their body of work and their credentials. But time and again, when you see these kind of movie, it gives you, every time it gives you a new meaning, a new something new to understand. There is always something, some layer which you would open up. So this whole that's the beauty of a good cinema. You watch it time and again, and you'll be able to see different things, and then you would understand that, oh, this also is being used in such a way in this film, and light is being used in to enhance this mood, or the sound is being used for one this reason, or camera movement, because once you are watching, probably you are engrossed in what performance or seeing something else, so probably you will miss out some other aspect of filmmaking. But if you watch it time and again, it unfolds different stories and different meaning. So Parinda is one of the movie which has so many layers and a great piece of art. I insist that including me and all other film and cinematography students should watch this film, and not only watch, observe this film and understand this film, cinematography and whatever department you are in. So please observe, and you will definitely get to learn so many things. Great, timeless piece of Indian cinema. It has a soul and essence which is not, which does not look fake and made up. It looks very real and realistic at the same time. It has all the elements of theater and drama and a piece of visual art. Brilliant work. Kudos to that filmmaker and cinematographer, and thank you so much for giving us such a great film like Parinda.
So thank you so much, Rupeshda, for coming and talking about this film. Thank you for your generous time.
Most welcome, Kabir ji, for giving me this opportunity.
Please like,
Share
subscribe to Cinema Satsang.
for more such videos.
Press the bell icon.